All right, good morning, happy Friday, and welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac Podcast right here on 1010XL's podcast platform inside the 1010XL Podcast Studios. We are filming it. We are live on Facebook. Of course, you can check us out on the 1010XL app and the website at 1010XL.com. Brought to you by good friends at Team Tommy Mac. You see the Baracus Group, on-demand security for you, your family, and your business at under $10 a month. Check them out, bgsjacks.com. Stay safe out there and stay protected. We'll talk about the rest of the team a little bit later on. Some stuff to get into today. It's the summer of workout videos. So great, man. Look at me. And these top 10 lists, we're going to go through a couple, not go through them. I'm going to talk about a couple guys in Prisco's top 100. And we're going to, Josh Hines Allen made a comment on social media yesterday about not being in the top 10 of 2019 draft class. And he made a comment. Anyway, we're just going to talk about that. We'll go through the NFL. And then we're going to talk about, because let me tell you something. I don't ever watch women's basketball, ever. I see the clips, on Twitter, whatever, Reels, whatever it is. But Caitlin Clark's got an enforcer now. And every team needs an enforcer. I'll tell you a story about a enforcer I used to hang out with up in Boston, and then we'll ask the question, who's the enforcer on the Jaguars? I've got a candidate, and I think he would be absolutely fantastic. But before we get into all that, let's say good morning and hello to Grammage. What's up, Grammage?
Tommy, I have great news.
Tell me.
For the second show in a row, I woke up feeling intangibly rich.
Nice. That's a good start to
That's
a
right.
Friday, babe.
That's right.
Good start to a Friday. How's the week been? Good? Good week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. I've been having a great time. The Horse's Mouth was awesome yesterday. It's always a good time at my bar. Troy Pepito came by. Troy is the founder of April 1 whiskey, and he had a new batch come out, and he's growing like crazy. And I'm like, man, I remember when you were on here when you just were launched. He's a 20-year veteran of the military. I'm like, I remember. He's like, yeah, now we moved our operations into Kentucky. I'm like, whoa,
that's cool.
Big time. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And return guests come. They talk about what they've been doing and how they've been growing, that kind of stuff. So that was pretty awesome. Going to be on Jaguars today, of course, this morning. I found out last night that I'm going to be on it 3 times next week, so stay tuned for that. And I'll be looking forward to that. Looking forward to the weekend. The Mosquitoes playing at the Bricks Saturday night. Now 6 to 9 p.m. The Mosquitoes played at my wife and I's wedding over 25. They absolutely rocked. They're a fun band to go see, and if you're going to be out there, I would highly check them out. Okay, so summer of workout videos. I'm watching. I don't know why I shouldn't even watch them because, look, I don't know. Is it brand? What is it? So I'm watching Eric Armstead work with this coach. Who's wearing like a one-arm pad, and I don't think he's moving full speed, but they're working on technique and, getting around the guy, hand up, hand down, whatever, working on the hands. Somebody's videoing that. Like somebody, either they're putting it on a tripod or somebody is like videoing and then they put it out there. So, I don't know. As a former player, I'm like, I don't know. It just seems strange. Like, just go work out. Like, go get better. Go do whatever you got to do. Is it branding? Like, does it help Eric Armstead with his brand? Like, why? And it's weird. He's like, this one drill was without hands, and he just kind of went around the guy, and I was just, I know what they're trying to work on, but why do you have to videotape it? Is it that important today for the brand? I see local media guys, they have their picture taken, then they put it out there, and it's like, okay, like, do you have a cameraman following you around? Do you say, hey, make sure you get my picture? I know some people do, like, that's your social media brand. You have someone follow you around, take your picture while you're talking to somebody, you're doing something, whatever. You know what I mean?
That's the next wave of content, Tommy. Content of the content.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad Eric's working on his game. That's cool, And it's been fun. I don't know. Maybe fans love that stuff, I mean, I used to do all types of stuff. I'd go to Telis Asamenios' house in Hidden Hills. He turned his garage into this dojo, if you will. And he was a taekwondo champ from Greece. He was on their Olympic team. He was on their alternate on their Olympic team. Came over here a long time ago. Used to compete. Was a boxing referee. And I used to go to his house for 2 years, and it was unbelievable. Probably the hardest workout I ever had. And it was all about taekwondo, kung fu, and boxing. And he taught me basically, when I went to Telus, I was all right hand. After he was done with me, I was equal with my left. I felt as good with my left and it was all just technique and doing it and all this kind of stuff. Would have fans like to seen all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'd feel weird, like, it's like, oh, look at me, I'm working out. But maybe fans like that stuff. I guess. I don't know.
At least to me, as somebody who has been a big part of the content we post here at 1010XL and seeing how people engage with it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, Tommy, we're like, especially nowadays with how much longer the NFL season is, how much more access you get to guys. You have these new docs like, quarterback and receiver come out, and fans have just eaten up that extra inside access content, right?
Okay.
So I think what happens...
Eric's doing it for the fans is what you're saying. Or his brand that's to the fans.
Yeah, I would say so. And that kind of an extension of his podcast and that kind of thing. And I think... But, they do it because fans engage with it, right? And it gets good viewership and people react to it and that kind of thing. And at least what I found in, like, what's happened with when we go out there, like, during training camp or whatnot, during this time of because fans are so passionate about their team. Yeah. So during this time when there's nothing happening.
They just want anything.
Anything.
Right, any kind of content.
And it's funny because I always used to notice this when I would go out to practice on a daily basis. Like, when OTAs or in training camp first start, you can post anything. Right. You can post a picture of Travis Hunter just standing there.
No, right.
And fans love it because they're like
crazy. Wow,
because they're like, man, like, football's bad. It's that feeling of like football, like it's bad.
And the person taking it, you're inside because you were on the field.
Yes,
right? So you're getting
I've
it from a source that's there.
I've always noticed that the bar for what people consider intriguing content, really elevates. Like, for example, after like the first preseason game, it's like, okay, we've gotten to watch a game now. I need more than just Travis Hunter standing on the sideline.
Right.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, they just want more content. I get it. Look, I'll tell you the content that I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw the before and after. Jared Verse challenged Aaron Donald to his work. Like, he said, I could do your workout, old man. You do the old man workout kind of thing. And then the after picture was Jared saying, I apologize for calling out Aaron Donald. I like those kind of things. And by the way, I like when the college kids, or even like when you see Saquon, squat 700 pounds. So I like that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of cool. But it is the summer. It's also the summer of these top 10 lists, top 100 lists. And Josh Hines Allen had a very interesting comment. I tell you, man, just don't even look at the lists. They don't matter. They don't matter. And where you are today in 1 year, that you could flip the script, good or bad. I mean, you could do that in a year without question. But Josh Hines Allen, whatever he wants to do it, I'm not bagging on for that. But he has these quotes. This quote, and I'll read it. He says, he wasn't in the top 10 list of the 2019 draft class. Okay, so he wasn't in there. Whether you agree with that or not, like, I know, when I saw Kyler Murray, I'm like, I don't know, he's okay. I don't think he's anything that special. He had a better year last year. But should Josh be in there? Whatever, whether you believe it or not. This is Josh's comment. I've never been handed anything, had to earn every inch, and still get misunderstood. But that's all right. Let's keep proving people wrong, just like always. And I'm sitting there going, I said, okay. I mean, that whatever. If I don't know why he's misunderstood. I mean, what? Here's an assessment of Josh Hines Allen's career, right? From me, very good rookie year. Kind of tapered off for a couple years, maybe 3. Not bad, just not like a top edge rusher that you drafted him to be. In all honesty, he would have great games, and then he would disappear for a couple games. You wouldn't hear his name at all. Forget the excuses or the reasons why. I'm just telling you what I've seen from his career. Then he had the monster year, the 17.5 sacks, which was tremendous. And he was dominant pretty much that whole year, wreaked havoc in the backfield pretty much the whole year, didn't disappear. Last year was okay, wasn't bad, was good at times, was really good at times. But after signing that big deal, he did not have a very good year in terms of production. Shove the hurries up, not him, just whoever uses the hurry. I don't care. That means he doesn't finish. He's not closing. I don't know what it means, but it doesn't mean anything to me. You're there for sacks. You're there for wreaking havoc in the backfield. So anyway, I was sitting there and I'm going, okay, well, let's go based on last year and look at a few stats, because I know there are a lot of stats people out there. Okay, so we all know Josh finished with 8 sacks last year, right? And that was tied for 27th in the league. Okay. Tackles for loss. Now, tackles for loss, he had, what did he have? He had 10 tackles for loss, and he was tied for 44th. Now, Dempsey has always thought that the sacks are part of the TFLs. So it's not 8 plus 10. It's really 8 plus 2. I don't know. I think tackles for loss are tackles for loss. So let's just say they're tackles for loss. You know, you make a tackle in the backfield, right, on a running play. Okay, fair? So he's got 10, tied for 44th. That was last year now. After getting paid top 5 money. You got to answer the bell. I'm sorry. This is the real – this isn't bias. I think Josh is great. I don't know him. I don't hardly know him, but I think he's been a great Jaguar, and I hope he has a monster year this year. But these are the facts. Now, total tackles doesn't really matter, but he's ranked 291st in that. But I'll tell you the comparison. So then I was like, all right, well, let's go look at Trey Hendrickson and his, because he's top 5 as well, right? Number 1 is sacks, tied for second in TFLs with 19. And then total tackles, they're close. They're about the same, 45 to 46. So that means what? We're not really concerned about tackles. You're there to get sacks, right? You're there to get hits. You're there to wreak havoc. So if you go based on last year, there's no misunderstanding. It wasn't a year that we were expecting Josh Hines Allen to have. It wasn't a bad year. It just wasn't a top 5 year. Now, maybe we're not saying he needed 17.5 again, but 13, 14, 15, you know, not showing up showing up the whole year. So I think this year's going to be different. I don't know why my voice picture, but I think this year's going to be different. And I do think in his defense, not having Eric committed inside full time took away a little bit of the production because he had more to deal with. The other inside guys, they didn't pose a problem. But when Eric became that 3 technique, both of our guys really flourished. And we're going to see it again this year, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. When I see that about Josh, I know, look, his teammates love him. He's an all-around very good player, right? Yeah. He is. Against the run, rushing the passer, he's a good teammate. He is a good leader. I know they all look up to him and all that. That's all great. But the bottom line is he's got to sack the quarterback. He's got to wreak havoc in the backfield. He's paid like T.J. Watt. He's paid like Myles Garrett. He's paid like Trey Hendrickson. And Trey's looking to – I know he's even more than Trey. Trey's trying to get a new deal, but these are the top guys in the league. And you got to answer that bell. So there's no – I don't know what's misunderstood, Josh. And I'm sorry. I wish you wouldn't even have to think this it doesn't bother you. I know it doesn't really bother you at the end of the day. But that you even have to make these comments. Like, man, just go work on your game, man. Just come out. You guys, I think this front 4 can be very good this year. I think Trayvon's going to have a big year. I think Eric inside is going to be really good. I can't wait to see Mason Smith, more and more of him. So it's going to be, look, I think it's going to be a big year. And I think Josh will have a big year. But let's be honest. Last year wasn't a big year. It wasn't. It was a down year for a guy that just was in the running for Defensive Player of the year before and got a massive contract because of it. He didn't get it from the 3 years prior. 8 sacks, 9 sacks, whatever it was, a year with not wreaking havoc all year. That if he doesn't have that big year 2 years ago, he doesn't get that deal.
Yeah.
He's not paid top 5. He got paid top 5 because he finished with 17 and a half sacks. So you're thinking, oh, the future is that. It's not the 8, but he went back to the 8 for whatever reason. I know there's some reasons that are valid. The most aren't. He just didn't have the year. Oh, he had too much weight on. Well, he put the weight on. They made him. Hey, coach, 285 is too heavy for me. I'm just telling you. I know my body. Okay? Lower it down. Go to 277.
Yeah.
Go to 270. I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever. Anyway, he's got to have a big year. He's got to answer the bell this year. And I don't think he answered it enough last year.
So,
anyway.
I just pulled up the list. And looking through this, Tommy, there's only 2 guys where you could make the argument for Josh.
Is Kyler one of them?
It's a loaded class.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's
so
really
Kyler is one of them, and Kyler's a quarterback, so that's kind of an apples to oranges thing anyway. That's
Fair.
hard to do.
Yep.
So kind of putting Kyler in sort of a separate category.
Okay.
I mean, Nick Bosa has been better than Josh. It's not that's not arguable.
Way better.
Deebo Samuel has been better than Josh. That's not arguable.
Yep.
Jeffrey Simmons, that's not arguable.
He's a problem.
A problem.
Big time.
A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Max Crosby.
Yep.
DK Metcalf.
Yep.
Devin White's the other one. Devin White was really, really good to start his career, and he's tapered off quite a bit.
The linebacker?
The linebacker, yeah. He was on the Bucs, now he's in the Eagles.
Yeah, he was really good early.
He was one of the best defensive players in football.
Him and David were 2 great inside backers for Tampa Bay.
And he really has tapered off, and he doesn't even, he struggles to see the field a lot of times with the Eagles unless there's an injury. So that one is kind of hard because it's sort of a tale of 2 careers so far with Devin White. That one is the other one that I'm not totally sure about. Elton Jenkins for the Packers, I don't know much about him, but I just looked him up, and apparently he's one of the best interior linemen.
Yeah, he's a big-time run stuffer.
And then Brian Burns at 10.
Yeah.
Brian Burns has been better than Josh Allen.
Really good, yeah.
He has.
He has, no.
I love Josh Allen so much.
No, we do. Yeah,
Brian
this
Burns.
Knocking Josh. It's just, man.
Brian Burns has been a better pass rusher since he's been in the NFL. It's just true.
Yeah.
That's just the facts.
Yep.
And then Josh is ranked 14th on this list. I would even say the Terry McLaurin, Rashawn Gary, and T.J. Hawkinson are 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah. Hawkinson's been hurt a little bit, though.
He has, but he's been really good when he's played.
Yeah.
And look, if Josh were, I think you can make the argument that Josh is 14 now. You can make the argument for maybe 11, 12, maybe even 10.
Yep.
But I'm looking at this list. I'm like, this is not egregious at all.
Yeah.
That was a loaded draft class.
Yeah. He's been okay. I mean, he's been good overall. Let's say very good. He just hasn't been great.
I mean, Tommy, you're talking premier players that I just said.
He was drafted to be a premier
player.
He was paid to be a premier player.
And I would say he's pretty fairly ranked.
Yeah.
Where he's at.
Yeah, so there's, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe people around are like, no, man, you're the man. Could be. I don't know. I know last year, look, you gotta throw them all in. It didn't work last year.
I guess
it didn't work, whatever it was.
I guess the good news, and you'd probably agree with this as a former player, is like, vocalizing it is one thing, but Josh himself having confidence in himself, he should think that he's listed too low.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you want that.
Yeah, you want a guy to be like, hell no, I'm better than that.
Yeah, let me prove him wrong.
So.
Yeah, and he just says, let's keep proving people wrong, just like always. Good. Let's go, man. Absolutely. And, look, I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's going to have double digits. I think he's going to be a menace. I think another guy is going to be a menace too, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. I want to take a look around the NFL real quick. Anyone see AP's fight at the card game? I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. Did you see that? Adrian Peterson got in a fist fight, and everyone's they're kind of making fun of him because it doesn't look like AP really knows how to fight, kind of. And I'm not saying I'm this great fighter at all, but the guy that he was fighting against kind of caught him a couple times as he was coming in. And I think AP might have got him once or twice. I don't know. In the beginning, you can't really see the people in a way. And people are just like, man, those hands are suspect or sus. Everyone's like, I don't know. I'll tell you this. I'll give you a public service announcement. And I learned this a long time ago by this black belt taekwondo older gentleman when I first started at 19. He said to me, he's like, look, don't chase anybody. Let them come to you. They don't want to come to you, then they don't want to engage. Don't chase them because you always get caught when you're chasing. Think about it. Like you're moving. Now, unless most people aren't. They're like moving forward. And next thing you know, the guy who's backing up, all he has to do is stop for a quick second and whap. And you're coming in with your face, whang. And who knows? Maybe hits you. You know what I'm saying? So don't lead with your face, AP. Don't lead with your face. Poor guy. I felt bad for him. He did. But he looked big. I mean, he took the shot. It wasn't like it knocked him down or knocked him out, but he definitely felt it a couple times. But I don't know what they were fighting over, but got a little testy. And what did people do? One guy tried to break it up. He didn't have a chance to know. Pull out their phones. You know? I don't know. Sometimes you got to let people go. If it's one-on-one, you just be like, all right, let them go, and then don't let anybody get hurt. And then sometimes you're like, nah, man, this is ridiculous. What are you fighting over? Like, just stop. Let's not fight. You know? I'm in between. Sometimes depends on the situation. But anyway, AP, hope you get some lessons or something. Travis Kelce says he's coming back. Says he failed last year. No shit, you failed last year. You were terrible in the Super Bowl. Remember him? He was so lollygagging around. He wasn't going full speed. He looked like he was moping. Remember that? It's kind of weird. You're like, what's going on with him? He was a monster leading into the Super Bowl. Remember, he was having a great playoff. We're like, man, he's having a monster. And then next, like they barely went to him. He was barely into it. He didn't block like he normally did. You could see his body language. You're like, man, what are you doing? You know, maybe his head was in the clouds singing of his girlfriend up in the box seats. I don't know, but he was not himself. I don't know if he failed. He feels that. Good for him. Listen, that guy comes back with a vengeance. Chiefs, Niners, you hear them talking. They're like, man, we can't. Last year we had so many injuries. Maybe whatever. They're going to come back as strong as they can be. We'll see.
I think it was a matchup issue for Travis Kelce.
His language sucked. He looked kind of out of shape.
No, it did like for sure. But
heavy.
But I think I think their
game plan was. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think their game plan was geared more towards the others than to Travis. Which who understands? I mean, he did have a monster. I mean, the playoff game before he had like 10 catches, 11 catches, something like that.
The Eagles are a rare team that has personnel, linebacker, and DB that can physically match up with him.
Yeah.
So they're one of the teams that can dedicate the least amount of resources and still slow him down.
Yep.
And so I think pretty early on in that game, a combination between that and them getting to Mahomes in the backfield.
Yeah.
I think the attitude just got bad pretty quick for the Chiefs.
Quick, it felt.
He
like,
was. You know, I agree with that.
And salty.
It was weird. That part was weird. Especially for a team that had been down
a lot
and come back to win so many times.
Yep.
It's not like they had beat everybody by 30 and this is the first time they were losing and faced adversity.
Absolutely.
That was kind of their MO.
Right.
Is they're down 3 or 10 the whole game and then they figured out in the fourth quarter.
Carolina, they barely beat Carolina.
Yeah.
20-19
yep.
late in the year. It was in Carolina, so maybe that I think they had some weather, but still at the same time. Jair Alexander to the Ravens. If he stays healthy, that's going to be a great pick for them. Reunited with Lamar Jackson. Went to Louisville together. It'll be an upgrade if he stays healthy, but that's it's kind of a risk. He's really good when he's healthy. No doubt about it. I'm okay. I don't know if the Jags even got involved. I'm okay. I'm good. Let's see what we have here. I think we got enough here. Again, you got to have the rush anyway. If you don't have the rush, it's not going to matter. Rumors are scuttlebutt Jalen Ramsey to Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
Minka Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey roaming the backfield of the defense. That'd be pretty cool. You got Aaron Rodgers. They could be. Now, on paper is on paper. Chemistry's different. We've all seen it before, right? So, but if they put the chemistry together, that could be an interesting one to see. C.J. Mosley retiring from the NFL. Great linebacker. 5-time All-Pro. 5-time All-Pro. So that he's a 5-time Pro Bowler as well, but the All-Pro means more. So if there's consideration for any kind of Hall of Fame for CJ, you go to the All-Pro. I mean, 5-time All-Pro is pretty badass. I think he played 10 years, so half the time he was first or second team All-Pro. That's best in the league. Best in the league. Yeah. Yeah, hey, Sonny, how are you? I'd take Ramsey and Jax too, man, in a heartbeat. I would. All right, second rounders not signing contracts. You know the problem. Everyone's like, what's the problem? Well, you know the problem. The top 2 guys got guaranteed money. So what does that mean? Well, the third guy wants guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. It was the first time ever. They did it for the top 2 picks of round 2. Now, the reality is, look, top of round 2 is a lot different than bottom of round 2. So when do you stop? Where it's fully. Eventually, you're going to take a little piece. You know what I mean? And the end of the second round is going to look different than the top of the second round. But who's going to make that decision? Who's going to make that move? Who's going to set the market, right? So if the third guy sticks, fourth guy stick, can the fifth guy stick? And then it goes on. And by number 8 or 7, you're like, I mean, come on, man. It's different. 32 or 33 to 40 is it different? If you did that in the first round, it'd be different, wouldn't it? The money wouldn't be the same. It'd be guaranteed, but the level of money wouldn't be the same. The second round money shouldn't change. That's all slotted. Now it's whether it's guaranteed or not. So eventually they got to find that breaking, wherever that point is, where that first guy will be like, okay, I want to play. I'll take, whatever, less guaranteed. Whatever that number is. And then it'll trickle down, then they'll all get signed. And third rounders better shut the you-know-what up and just sign. You have no – I don't want to hear, well, I'm top of third round. I should get it all guaranteed, just like top of second round. No, shut up. Sign the contract. Get to work.
What makes it hard for that cutoff, Tommy, is not all drafts are created equal.
That's right.
There's some drafts where, the consensus is there's 40 guys worthy of being first-round picks.
Yeah.
There's other drafts where there's not even 32.
Right.
So it's just –
which was last year.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're guaranteeing 2 of the second rounders. So that's like a –
yeah. It won't get treated that way, but that's what makes it a gray area is it's like it's not like every year goes in with, 35 prospects.
No, right.
Like exactly that are considered first-round guys,
this year they had 14 or 16. That take it for what it's worth. But then they're guaranteeing all the contracts. So who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens out there on the field. NFL News and Notes brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. I already mentioned the Baracus Group, bgsjacks.com. Of course, you remember Carpet Man Flooring, LVP. Commercial still running. Was on this morning. It's so funny. Been running forever. But get the highest quality flooring at the lowest prices at Carpet Man Flooring. Chris Lucero's bail bonds gets you out of the clink in a blink. 904-822-2245. Put it in your phone, man. You never know when you or a loved one or a friend of a loved one, whatever, connection, needs some help. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, the largest personal injury law firm in the land, in the country, in the world. And they've got all the resources needed to handle you and your claim. Make sure you go to forthepeople.com. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling for all your junk, And it may not be junk. It may just be you're looking to upgrade your couch. You're looking to upgrade your some of your appliances, whatever it may be. Maybe you're moving out. Maybe, in your new place, you're going to have all new stuff. We'll call J-Dog. 844-GET-JDOG. D-O-J, that is. And you can check them all out at jdog.com. Azar Sausage Company, fourth generation, homegrown, down home. The best sausage you'll ever have. Trust me. The hot is unbelievable. And Dewey's my second favorite, then Mild's my third. It's absolutely incredible. They're in Winn-Dixie. They're in other grocers. You can always check them out at azarsausage.com. Family Tradition Specialty Foods, home of Coconut Joe's hot sauces. Listen, I tell you all the time, I'm not a huge hot sauce guy. I haven't been. But when I got introduced to Coconut Joe's, I got introduced to their sriracha first. And it's light. It's not like, my kids like that thicker sriracha. And my wife, I didn't like it. And it was really, really spicy. But their sriracha is real spicy, but it's light, it's thin, and it's crisp, man. Absolutely, check them out. Check them out at FamilyTraditionsSpecialtyFoods.com. We are going to get a QR code to you, so you can just click on that, take you right to the hot sauce page. Code NINJAS. Make sure you use Tommy Mac NINJAS in the discount code bar When you go to CodeNinjas.com, you get 10% discount on their summer camps, their parents' night out, all types of events. Tell you what, a great place for your kids to learn all types of technology. And it's a well-rounded camp, so you go outside, you get some exercise, you come back in, you're building video games, you're learning about security, you're learning about AI, tech. You know where the future is. It's already here. Let's learn at CodeNinjas.com at 5 great locations. Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, the #1 commercial real estate company firm in the land. And I'm talking everything there, whether it's industrial, retail, commercial, all commercial, office, developments, investment sales. They are the leaders for the reason they've been around for over 30 years. They're good friends of mine. I used to work for them way back when. We're still buddies, and that's been a couple decades ago. So I tell you what, I trust them with all my commercial real estate needs. So should you. 904-399-5222. Saltaire Inn & Suites. My man Kurt, what a great job he's done with that boutique hotel. I helped him get the financing when he actually bought it and renovated the property, just 4 blocks from the ocean in Atlantic Beach, 2 blocks from all the action. The rooms are spectacular. They got a cool little pool. It's a nice little courtyard, fantastic rooms at fantastic prices. Go check them out. It's concierge service all the way through and through at Saltaire Inn & Suites. And, of course, last but not least, hey, man, this is a great one. Freedom Finance, my man Courtney Myers. You need a fractional CFO. You need help with your finances, your small business. You need to either, like, you're an early stage startup, take it to the next level. Well, Courtney will come in and take care of it for you. He'll handle some bookkeeping. He'll do some forecasting. He'll even raise some funds for you if needed. Make sure you check out Courtney Myers at freedomfinance.llc. Of course, I mentioned Baracus already. Great to be a part of the 1010XL family. And check it all out at TommyMac.net. All right, so I've been watching these Caitlin Clark, clips. I don't watch games, but I like the fisticuffs. I love it. I love it. And I love when the women go at it. I love it. I'll never forget my first female fight that I ever witnessed. It was my freshman year in high school. I got time for this? I do. I'm in Wheeling High School. Me and my best friend Brennan, we're eating. It's a packed cafeteria. And all of a sudden, this chair comes flying across where they have this little walkway where one set of the tables were and the other set. And we're just like, what's going on? And these 2 big girls got them. And they were big, big girls. And I'm not kidding, they met in the middle. Bam. The dean tried to break him up. They threw him to the ground. I mean, it was unbelievable. We look up. People are up on the tables cheering them on. They're grabbing her hair. They're scratching her face. I mean, me and Brendan are just like, what in the hell? This ain't St. Mary's of Buffalo Grove. This is crazy. Anyway, they finally broke it up. School cop.
Yeah, some one techniques getting after it.
Yeah, they got after it, man. There was no holds barred whatsoever. And the guy, like 2 away from us, says something to one of the girls, and she turns around, whaps him right in the face. And then they grabbed him and grabbed her. It was wild. Come home from, it was like the first week. And I was like, how was school? I'm like, you're not going to believe this fight I saw. It's unbelievable. Anyway. You need an enforcer. And I love when the enforcers show up in any sport. And Caitlin Clark's got one. Listen, Sophie Cunningham, I think is her name. Attractive, blonde, tall girl, can play hoops. And, man, she is not taking any grief from anybody. So you need an enforcer. You do. I think every sport needs an enforcer. What is that? That's the guy that nobody wants to mess with just because they're going to be in the middle of it. They're not backing down at all. If there's a fight, they're in front and center, and they're ready to rock and roll. And I don't mean fight, just anything. Hit the quarterback late, I'm going to get your guy. You hit one of my guys late, I'm coming after you, okay? I used to hang with an enforcer of the Boston Bruins back when I was at BC. My older roommates befriended Lyndon Byers. Go check him out. He was the enforcer for the Bruins in the early 90s. This guy, LB as he's called, we still buddies, 6'3", good 6'3", 240, 245, big fat hands from Canada. He'd show up on campus. He'd have a split lip, a busted nose, a black eye, cut over his eye, tooth missing, no big deal. He'd always say, hey, Tommy Mac, I got them a lot worse. You always need an enforcer. So I got to wrap this up real quick. So who's the Jag enforcer? Who's the #1 enforcer going into 2025? Grandma, you got 10 seconds. Who would you pick?
Mason Smith.
Mason Smith, damn it. He is built for it. He is going to be the enforcer. I'm telling you right now, keep an eye out on number 94. If he can stay in good condition, he's going to be a menace this year at defensive tackle for the Jaguars. Mark my words, Mason Smith, if he's in good condition, he's got to be in great condition, he will have a monster year, and he is my go-to enforcer that's where the swag starts. You got to have the enforcers on the team for the swag to happen, and I think Mason Smith is going to be that guy. All right, that'll do it for me. I got to run to Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and Dylan Denmark. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks to Team Tommy Mac, and thanks to all of you for watching. Catching up with Tommy Mac. All the best out there. Stay safe and be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.